You are listening to the Savage FINcast, episode 127. Whatever happened to predictability?
Chicago. A criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the Dragon.
This is the Savage FINcast, the show that refuses to be able to tell the difference between the Crusader and the Destroyer. My name is Jim Purcell.
I'm Craig Olson.
And this is Mark Welser.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. Glad to have you on again.
Hi. Do you mind if I address the listeners for just 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, just at the top of the show here. I'm very grateful that Jim and Craig have me on the show. I enjoy talking to them about Savage Dragon every opportunity I can get. I want everyone to know that I love Raven as much as you all do. I'm not trying to replace Raven. I would never replace Raven. And I want him to come back just as badly as you do. So in the meantime, you're going to have to put up with me, and I apologize. I guess that's it.
I guess we'll put up with you until Raven shows up.
I want him to come back just as badly as everybody else does, all right?
Raven's got some stuff going on. Everything's okay, but we'll
He'll
see him
back.
We'll see him again someday.
Let's hope so.
I couldn't think of a better replacement in his place, though, so I think we'll be all right until he gets back.
I mean, I'm glad to be here, but I know if I was listening and then like some dumbass comes on, I'm like, why? I wish Raven would be back here. What, this guy? His audio sucks. He's got this microphone that he stole from his child that he used to do his online schooling. Invest in a proper microphone. I'm trying, guys, all right?
But he's got great self-depreciating humor.
Right, that's what I'm here for. I'll try to mention boobs or something so you feel like Raven's still here with us. Cum or whatever he talks about. Butts, cum and butts on boobs.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's all.
You're basically nailing it. I mean, I don't see any reason we need him back now.
All right, well, there you go. Sorry, I take back everything I just said, and I'm glad he's gone.
So, shall we get into it?
All right. It has been a while since we've done a regular episode of the Savage FINcast, so we do have a few news items and some emails, so we should probably get right on into those.
First up, the Megaton Archives Volume 1 is now on shelves. $30 collection, soft cover collection. I think it's like almost like 450 pages or more, a little over 450 pages. It's black and white because the original Megaton comics were black and white, but it does have some color peppered in there for the covers and everything, and it's on glossy paper. It is pretty damn cool. I really enjoyed it. I own all 8 issues, but all the extras that are in here and the behind the scenes stuff really make it kind of worth it, even if you've already owned the issues. And it's just kind of a nice, handy package. It is pretty amazing. I know we've interviewed Gary a couple of times on the show, and if you're a listener that doesn't know, Megaton was kind of the starting point or the gateway for a lot of professionals. Butch Geis, Erik Larsen, Frank Fosco, Angel Medina, Rob Liefeld. I don't know, I'm probably missing a few guys here and there, but it's pretty impressive. Came out from 81 to 87, and it's got a bunch of cool characters. Dragon and Vanguard in it. It's worth picking up.
I might even buy a print copy of it. We'll see. It does look pretty snazzy, and I do want to read it because I've not read most of these stories. Well, I've read all the Dragon stories. I haven't read most of the other content. And I'm a big fan...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, even the Megaton stuff, like the character Megaton, because I've been reading him in the Big Bang Adventures lately, and I want to get more of his background.
Even the artists I don't really know are pretty decent. There's not really anything on here that I'm like, oh my god, that's so amateur or horrible. You know, I don't know how he did it, but he was able to wrangle up a bunch of really good amateurs at the time. There's this one strip by, it's Berserker, and I don't know if it's his first appearance in Megaton, but it's drawn by this artist Ken Landgraf. Does he ring a bell to anyone? I really like his style.
Yeah, Landgraf. He, well, now I'm going to have a complete brain fart. I know he just recently did some kind of series that he did that the cartoonist kayfabe guys were promoting.
Oh, really?
Over there, yeah. It's like some kind of post-apocalyptic cosmic story.
Which is kind of like what Berserker is.
It's kind of what Berserker is, yeah.
It's damn cool. It's really heavy on the black inks, and just like, I don't know. I don't remember seeing his name anywhere else before, but I probably just am out of the loop. But anyway, it's got all your favorites in there. Etherian, Vanguard, Dragon, Berserker. So yeah, if you're a fan of that stuff, I would definitely pick it up.
I would try my best to go ahead and grab it. Shall we move on?
Yes.
Okay, we have a cover for the Savage Dragon 269. It has got, it looks to be the new SOS team in San Francisco. You got your Malcolm, you got your Angel, you got your Janey twins, and you've got the Johnson twins, whose names are definitely the Destroyer and the Crusader. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Oh, thank God.
Which is a mystery to all, except for those who check the Wikipedia that you can totally find out.
Right. They seem to be tearing it up with a pair of hands that are green. I don't have a lot of information. It's a fight scene. It's got a cover price of $3.99 there, US.
On the muddy streets of San Francisco.
Right. It looks a lot like Chicago.
So I guess it's, we talked a little bit off the air, but these are all the same kids that were kind of stuck in the void, minus the extra Janey. So I guess they're going to follow the family to San Francisco, unless it's a fake out cover. I don't know.
Well, they're in the United States. I don't know where. Wait, are they? Yeah, they were in. I'm trying to remember. We just saw them, but
DC,
I can't.
I think, or something.
Yeah, they're part of the. I think they're already part of SOS.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah, they are, because Sergeant Marvel and was it Sergeant Marvel?
No, you're close.
Well, I know Super Tough was kind of leading them.
Right. It was Young Tough was it Young? No, it's Super Tough.
Oh, and Daredevil.
No, you're right. It's Daredevil and Super Tough, and they're leading the DC branch, and they're all members.
Gotcha.
I think.
Well, they look great.
They do. Yeah. I mean, I gotta be honest. The Janey twins are definitely the standout characters here, design-wise. The other two, I mean, you got to appreciate the fact that these characters are from Erik's childhood, and they're going to look like, how we saw them in Paul's universe very recently. Right. So, you got to appreciate that callback retro aspect of them, even if they do stand out a bit as being a little goofy in Savage Dragon.
I don't think their costumes are bad. They're a little generic, but I guess I can understand that, because I assume they were designed when Erik was younger, a child at least. But they're not terrible costumes.
Yeah. I just hope we get some more character development. If hopefully, I'm sure we will if they're going to be part of the book and the supporting cast.
Right.
It'd be kind of cool to see, I don't know, If they have more powers than just being super strong or whatever.
We know the Janney twins fuck each other, but the Johnson twins are not into that. That's what I remember.
How could you forget?
That is definitely a vagina on the cover there. Right?
I mean, there's a lot of lines. Although I suppose
it's not colored like spiderweb, though. It's the thing. It's
I don't know. I still have
that's
issues.
cutting it close. That's cutting it real close.
Do you think Nikos colors it like webbing, and then Eric's like, take that back?
I have no idea. This was not supposed to be webbing. Try again.
I like how they go out of their way to like cover their nipples with webbing and their feet, but the vagina, I guess that's where their webbing's got to come out of, so it can't be a...
I suppose that makes sense, quote unquote.
Could have wear a skirt or something, maybe. I don't know.
They're certainly
man.
striking designs.
I guess. Well,
Never
mind.
You guess what, Craig? Okay.
Nothing. I won't say it. It's not like this is a podcast where I should say something provocative, but
all right. I think that's it for news. I don't think we had anything other than this cover's come out. We've got no actual solicitation for it yet. It's probably going to be in the next previews catalog. Or actually, you know what? I don't know if this counts as news, but I think Image announced they're switching from Diamond to a different distributor.
yes.
So I think that means Image comics are coming out on Tuesdays now.
Oh.
Or will be. Just like DC Comics, because I think it's the same distributor.
But does that mean they're released on Tuesdays?
Well, that's how it works for DC. You can basically buy them on Tuesday through this distributor. So
Has this already taken into effect?
I actually have no idea. I don't,
because I got a call
so.
yesterday from my comic shop letting me know that the new Dragon was in, but they're not open on Tuesdays, so I don't know if they just. So
I think
can't.
it went in effect like a month ago.
All right.
I think.
But that is a change for some people. And now it means we get Dragon one day earlier.
Not going to help me. My shop is not open on Tuesday.
No.
But they only open like Wednesday because that's New Comic Day?
Yeah, Wednesday through Sunday, I think. I don't even think they're open Monday.
It probably makes sense. It's like probably
most shops aren't open on Monday.
Yeah, no one
They
wants
cut
to go
their
on
hours
Tuesday.
back, too. They used to be open until 7, now they're open until 5.
Till 5?
Yeah.
How are you supposed to get your comics after work?
Well, get them the next day, unless it's a Monday or a Tuesday.
Yeah. Alrighty, should we get into the emails?
Let's get into the emails.
Alright, I'm taking the first one, right? So it said, the first email, we got a letter from James Sheehan. He says, "Hello, gang. What a great issue in 265. Holy shit, that was a banger. Can't wait to see the San Francisco move. I'll cut to the chase. I have a couple of ska band names. We're still on this.
Yeah, remember that whole conversation?
Here's his names. Maxine and the Vanguard, the Rowdy Finheads, and I guess just Hortus.
Hortus?
You guys understand that?
No.
I could probably go on, and they would get worse and funnier and lamer, so I'll stop. Thank you. Until next time, have a good one. James Sheehan. P.S. He included a drawing. He did a Savage Dragon, which is pretty dang cool. Apparently, it's a Mark Silvestri homage, but I don't know the cover. So if you're listening, James, send us a message and let us know what cover you're homaging there.
Rowdy Finheads isn't bad, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Hortus, I don't quite understand.
I don't understand Hortus.
There must be some mono-name band that I'm unfamiliar with.
Unless he intended to include more and then forgot before he sent this email.
Could be.
You're just having so much fun. Okay.
Could go on and on.
No more ska answers, please. No more emails with ska names. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're done with those now. All right, so second email. So, guys, issue 265, huh? What a shocker of an issue. Poor Billy. What a brutal way for the little guy to bow out. What effect will this latest tragedy have on Paul? The guy's lost the love of his life, his reality, his arm, and now his newfound grandson in the most horrific way. That's got to unsettle a guy psychologically. Do you think we might begin to see Paul going dark? It's an Erik Larsen book, so who knows what might happen. Just as I was getting over the events of this issue, I flipped the book over and was surprised again. My Angel Dragon art was on the back cover. When I sent that image in, way back in June 2022, I thought I might get lucky and see it included in the letters page, but the whole back cover, mind well and truly blown. Seeing my artwork adorn the back cover of my favorite comic book put me on a real high that whole weekend. Then I started wondering, what could the Savage FINcast dudes have to say on my pinup? So I eagerly awaited for the next issue of Savage Dragon to come out. And
to drop.
Oh, right. The next episode to drop, and I waited, and then I waited some more. Finally, a new episode. But wait, it's a retro episode. A new issue of the Savage Dragon comes out, and they drop a retro episode. These guys are killing me. But we got there in the end, and I was glad to hear you guys like my take on Angel. So there you have it. An end of the mystery that has plagued Savage fanatics the world over these past weeks and months. For it was indeed I, Stephen Newbold, that was responsible for the back cover art for this issue, and not this Grunwald fella, whoever he is. I think that Mark Welser tried to attribute it to. Until next time, Stephen Newbold. P.S. If I had to name a Savage Dragon rock band, it would have to be the Sputters. Which, so not a bad name. P.P.S. Guys, I forgot to mention in my previous email that if people like my Angel Dragon pinup on the back cover of issue 265, they can find more of my work, including my own comic, Superhuman Crime Investigators, over on my Instagram account at snewbold720. Wait, no, that's wrong.
Nope.
At snewbold70fn6. I often post about Savage Dragon and early Erik Larsen artwork there too, so plenty to interact. Any and all Savage Dragon fans. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you, Steven.
Good old Mark Welser driving away the fan base by insulting them.
I gotta say, Steven, thank you for being the bigger man and spelling my name correctly in your email. When I couldn't tell what your name was on the back. To be fair, it's very small.
I thought you said you... Was that a person, like, were you just trying to read it, or was it you
I
just
was
thought
trying
it was a
to read
different
it.
artist? Oh.
No, I didn't recognize the art. I was trying to read the name. I pulled the issue out, and I'm looking at it now, and it still looks a lot like Greenwald.
Well, Steven,
Very
work
little.
on your signature.
I can see that it says Newbold now, but...
That's pretty cool, sending in a piece of like fan art and then finding it on the back cover.
Yeah.
And again, good job, Steven. I still think it looks really cool.
Nice. All right, this is the segment of the show that we call FINteresting Conversations. It's where we come up with a topic to talk about and gauge you, the audience, on what you think, where you guys can write in at savagefincast@gmail.com and send in your responses or suggest a topic of your own for the next regular episode of the FINcast. We didn't get any responses for our last FINteresting conversation, so we're just going to jump forward to a new one. So for our new FINteresting conversation, and again, we're kind of jumping a little ahead of the review of issue 266, but this FINteresting conversation kind of revolves around that. The question is, would you welcome more non-action issues like 266, where there's just a lot more dialogue and talking and kind of just character interactions without any fisticuffs. I know Erik's kind of talked about that in the past, about, you know, the possibility of more of these types of issues. I don't know if this is just a one-off transition to San Francisco or if this is going to be more regular. So our question to you is, do you guys like this? Would you welcome more of it? Send your answers to savagefincast@gmail.com. So who wants to start this off?
Well, I'll start. I'll just say that while I don't mind it, I definitely don't want it to become the norm. I think Savage Dragon is an action superhero comic, and it should stay that way in some regard. I think it is cool to experiment like this and just take your foot off the gas a little bit for an issue, but not as a consistent thing. I don't think it really works over a long period of time. I think it works as a single issue, but that's my opinion.
I would tend to agree. I think, yeah, once in a while it's fine to have like these ones where you slow down a little bit. But if it was like this all the time, of course I'd still read it because, you know, it's my favorite book. But I would definitely be waiting for when are they going to start punching guys through walls, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it does definitely feel weird because even we've had issues that there's been a lot of dialogue, but there's always at least some even small little bit of action just to kind of scratch that itch.
Right.
So it did feel weird. I was talking to Gavin Higginbotham, for the listeners that don't know, Savage Dragon editor. And after this issue came out, I was like, you know, have we ever had another Savage Dragon issue that had no action? I was trying to think, you know. I was thinking most
27, I think. Right?
Yeah, that's what he said right off. It took him like 2 seconds. He was like 27. I was like, God damn it.
All right.
So both of you guys are pretty quick with that. But that's the cover where Rapture says, "Will you marry me?" And it's like, you know, it's a lot of talking. There's a lot of action, but it's not fighting action. You know, it's like lots going on. And that was a real cool issue.
Yeah, I really like 27, and it seems like a lot of stuff was still being, like the story was still progressing. There was a lot of threads that were still getting moved along in that issue, even without any action. But
was that the one with all the babies coming out of Rapture?
No, that's the one with Max, right? Was that?
Yeah, it's 28 with the Max.
Yeah.
No, this was right after the gang war, so there's just kind of sitting back, taking a breather because they just took out. Well, I think I was going to say Overlord, but that was back in
Cyberface.
21. Yeah, Cyberface. Yeah, the jailbreak was in 26. Mace put on the Overlord outfit, and then Cyberface fucked off and took a bunch of guys with him and declared himself. But they were taking a break, and Dragon and Rapture were seeing about where their relationship was going to go. And then I think she dropped the bomb that she was pregnant in 27.
I think so.
At the
because
very end,
there's like that scene. Maybe that's where you're getting mixed up, Jim. Too is like the dragon babies like all walking around with like the fat dragon.
Yeah, that's it.
Fat Rapture.
Yeah.
So that continues on. But
there was also some great stuff in 27 too when Brute Force shows up and they're like, "No, you guys missed it." And Deadly Duo shows up and they're like, "No, you guys also missed it." There was some really good stuff in that one.
Yeah. And then like he keeps seeing visions of like Reader Meter Maid like you know, like coming onto him and Alex, and he's like it's just hilarious. But that was a great like no action issue. I think it's better than this issue. I have some issues with 266, which we can talk about when we get to the meat and potatoes. I think I'm like you guys, you know, here and there. Okay. I wouldn't want it to be like every other or every 3 or even every 4 issues like this. But once in a while, I think there's no harm in it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was another one since 27.
I don't really think so. I think if anything, like I said, it might have been like some throwaway fight or something.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, though. I guess if the listeners know, let us know.
He's already yelling at us.
Yeah.
Well, that's the answer. Should we do some meat?
Yes.
Possibly a potato as well?
Potates. So yeah, Savage Dragon 266. Out today at time of recording. Fresh and new. You probably won't hear about this review for another week. Give it plenty of time to settle in and stew.
Talking about this cover, did you guys happen to traverse the interwebs, particularly Facebook and Twitter? And
I have not. How is the internet taking it?
It's total outrage.
Oh boy.
The Image Comics Facebook site has this cover out today, and it's 250 replies.
Hey, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
It's mixed. It's half and half, but there are guys coming out that don't collect it and just want to be outraged by it. And the outrage is on Maxine wearing the dominatrix outfit, and I guess it's Jackson wearing the leather chaps. Now Erik's a pervert and blah 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 and all that stuff that comes with it. Absolutely ridiculousness.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like even if Erik is a pervert, who gives a shit, you know?
Well, I think we're in this climate now where it's anything that's not a heterosexual relationship, there's a certain contingency that want to label everything perverts or groomers or whatever. And unfortunately, it's kind of moving its way into comic book discussions.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Maxine is wearing a dominatrix outfit. But there's nothing sexual going on the cover.
Right.
I think, if anything, Scott's cover was dirtier than this one.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Scott James, friend of the show, amazing artist. He got his own variant cover, which is pretty cool.
It is.
Apparently, I was reading also on Facebook, I think on the Savage Dragon fan site, that one of the bigger shops, I forget which, I don't know, what are the bigger ones in New York? I think they were only allowing people to buy one copy each.
Right. Well, it's a variant, so speculators are going to speculate.
Yeah.
Did you get one of Scott's covers, Craig? Did you pick yours up today?
Yes.
I gotta say, it is pretty amusing that the Dragon cover on the Image Facebook has drawn almost 300 comments, and all the other covers for the new release comics, including a big one from Jeff Lemire, have drawn one or two. So
yeah.
It's weird. The Dragon covers...
controversy draws eyes and attention.
Yeah.
And
there's always a lot of people that can't wait to talk shit on Savage Dragon.
Oh man, they love it. They can't get it up without it.
Because they know that Erik will interact.
That's true.
That is true. And he sure did.
So they're just salivating. It's, I think it's a lot of those Comicsgate guys that just want to have,
it's ironic.
Something to tell their friends that they started shit with Erik Larsen,
Right.
And to me, it's just funny how offended people get by this. Not offended by grim and gritty comic books where the 16-year-old sidekick is murdering people or something like that. It's costumes on a cover. Oh my god!
It's so amusing that it's almost exclusive. It's exclusively conservatives who have a problem with all this. Like as you said, the comics gators of the world who think comics should be one way and especially never express themselves sexually in any way. Except for, women should only be supermodels. I mean, that's one way they're allowed to express themselves. It's right. It's just the absolute state of people sometimes.
It's like no problem with the Hellfire Club, but Maxine's wearing a dominatrix outfit on the cover.
Oh no, she's
Yeah.
she's within 5 feet of children. You see, her own children.
Yeah.
That's it. There's definitely like your Vampirellas and your Lady Deaths that have costumes on every
identical.
issue that is identical if not worse. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Vampirella meets Archie, whatever. It's
Right.
it's just people being ridiculous.
And then the other thing that we got to remember is that none of these people on the cover are real people,
Right.
so it doesn't even matter. But I will say that background looks very nice.
Yeah,
Of
that's
the-
got to be
the
a definite
cityscape?
photo, right?
Yeah, I think he said that's a photo. He took that photo himself.
Yeah, I mean, he lives in San Francisco. He knows what the city looks like.
Yeah, I wonder if that's one of his houses back there, like as a little Easter egg.
I don't know. I would assume that the street would be a bit on more of a 45-degree angle.
Yeah. I don't know.
But no, it looks great. There's lots of little lines in there. Do you think I know he's doing pretty much everything digitally now. Is he doing the covers digitally too? Do you guys know or speculate?
I don't know, but I speculate not. But this is photo referenced for the background. So
Yeah.
my speculation is that he probably lightboxed this because I feel like he'd want the covers to remain.
I don't think he'd like boxes. I think, if anything, he draws the characters on a board and
Puts it in
scans
post.
them in.
Photoshop some manner.
I would say anything behind the shrubs is just a photo.
Hard to say. Hard to say. Well, when we get more into San Francisco era, we'll definitely be having Erik on again, so we'll have to ask him.
It
Point
just
blank.
feels like when those lines are really thin and small like that, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump in this bad boy.
So this issue is pretty much entirely built around the making the decision to move from Toronto to San Francisco. Right off the bat, we get the explanation of what's going to happen to Walter, because that's the question on everyone's mind. What's going to happen to Walter? Well, Walter doesn't care where he lives, so he's coming with. I really hope he actually ends up on the SOS. I really want to see Walter in action, because he's a kitty cat man.
You think he'll become a hero, like a super-powered being?
I want him to be. Look at him. Look at him.
I guess I never thought about that possibility, but he would be like their version of the bear character.
Well, I was thinking
Grizzly.
more Hortus, but
Yeah.
the goofball doesn't know nothing because he grew up in the streets and he's a tiger.
That would be a cool character if he was like super goofy, but when he got pissed off in battle mode, he just turned into like this like killing machine or something, like shrew.
Nothing about him really strikes me as a fighter. I think he just wants to hang out and eat.
Yeah,
But he's a tiger. He got claws and big angry feet.
He's got shoes that are
he
tied.
could mess some shit up if he got pissed.
I gotta be honest, it's weird he wears shoes. I'll say that.
Yeah, I feel like the shoes got to go.
It will be nice if he shows up because I do miss him. I feel like he was introduced and then we haven't seen him do much.
Well, he's no Greta Gearbox, who is absolutely out of this book. Whatever happened, whatever was going on with that backup that didn't materialize, absolutely killed her character.
I think we'll see it next issue.
I hope so.
I certainly hope so. I don't know what's going on in the next issue, but I hope we have some cool backup stories.
I like how Amy is basically taken on Maxine's old costume, the schoolgirl costume.
She probably found it in the closet.
It's become like her regular costume now.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's just it is.
But she's not even in kindergarten yet.
No, she definitely is.
Oh, she's definitely like
I think
grade
Maddie
school.
is going into kindergarten.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Right, you're confusing the two.
Yeah, no, I'm confused.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's Amy is the older one who is friends with Walter, and Matt, the other one,
Maddie.
Maddie, is the one with electric powers who nearly kills everybody. all the time.
Right, okay. I still have a hard time telling these kids apart. I apologize, Erik. They all look the same.
What? They all got different flesh tones.
Well, they got the fins. They got the teeth.
I mean, I will say Amy and Maddie are similar.
They got the teeth.
The teeth, sure,
Right.
yeah. Because they're both Maxine's daughters genetically,
Yeah.
so they look like her.
Now, her and Maddie, they do look a lot alike.
They do.
So it sounds like Walter's definitely going.
I wonder what he does when he's not hanging out with her.
He paws through trash, I'm sure. Avoids Mako.
Doesn't seem to have any other friends.
Eats hobos.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not seeing the side of Walter where he's killing and murdering people in the sewers.
I see. He just keeps it
He's a
secret.
carnivore.
He loves, what was he eating last time? KFC.
Because remember, Walter is a tiger who has become a man, so he has tiger tendencies.
He just eats like small dogs and cats.
See, I find him fascinating.
Rodents.
And
Yeah, give him his own book.
Yeah, Walter.
Walter, the Chronicles.
You know, I didn't. I
The Walter Chronicles?
I've probably noticed this before, but this is the first time I'm articulating it. You notice how he has like W's for a stripe pattern
Yes.
for Walter?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
W's.
You don't think so, Craig?
W's for Walter.
For what? You think? I don't know.
I always assumed
really?
that's what it was.
Okay.
Or maybe that's just, although I don't know maybe I'm not a tiger expert like you are, Craig.
Big fan.
Why are
of
you
the
attacking me?
Big,
I
big,
don't
feel
recognize. I don't know.
big fan of the World Wrestling Organization, that Walter.
Right.
And Wonder Woman.
Just attacking my tiger knowledge.
You're of all of us, I think if anyone's going to be the Tiger King, it's going to be you.
I do have a sweet mullet.
Right. And all that other stuff you did.
Yes. And glittery clothes. And boyfriends.
I will say the artwork for this, because I think he's still pretty much doing everything digitally, I assume. But the faces look like Larsen faces here.
No standout ones that like.
No, nothing stood out.
No,
I mean,
everything looks pretty Larsen.
Well, except for one, but I think that was a callback to previous.
the neighbor.
Neighbor Craig is back.
Neighbor Craig. Yeah.
Wait, let's not skip to that. I do want to talk
Let's
about
not skip.
Joseph Strange.
Hey, it's Joseph Strange and the Bionic Man.
I do like how he's like, basically like, here's your arm, but I can't afford to keep doing this.
Please stop breaking your arm.
Could you just grow it back? Make it so much easier.
His lab looks pretty expensive, though. It's just
Circuitry on the walls.
Diodes.
That's how you know it's expensive.
right.
When you live inside of a mainframe. But no, it's cool. This whole thing with Paul and Malcolm still not getting along, I really like. I like that Malcolm doesn't trust Paul, or more specifically, it's not that he doesn't trust Paul. It's that he doesn't consider Paul his father, which I think is a reasonable take. Everyone else has kind of accepted that Paul is Dragon; they're equivalent, but Malcolm has not, and I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even totally look like his father, first of all, with a small fin, That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And he saw his father die,
He sure did.
So,
But I don't know what's the merging of the multiple Earths when everybody gets all these weird memories of lives that you've never lived. That's got to probably do something to you, right? Does that make you more accepting of these kinds of situations or less accepting? I don't know.
For Malcolm, there was never equivalent Malcolm in Paul Dragon's world, so he doesn't have any memory
for Paul, but I mean from Malcolm's
So
perspective.
Angel would have gotten memories from that universe, so she would accept him somewhat as her father. But Alex will take anyone green with a fin, because she ain't choosy.
She's got a type.
Really, it's just those two now that I think about it. Well, Maxine's and the grandkids are all into him, but then again, they like having a grandfather around.
It's different for them too, because
it is different for them, right?
Father, you know.
Yeah, they don't mind so much because they're young and they don't understand the nuance of alternate realities. But Malcolm, I completely understand not wanting to treat him as his father. Is the thing. I mean, that might change. I mean, we got the wedding coming up. Maybe he'll finally come around, but I really kind of hope that it doesn't. I really hope this just kind of remains kind of awkward between them. Because I like it. I like it being a little awkward.
Yeah, I like their dynamic.
I like them being friends and not family.
Yeah, I mean, it would just kind of feel cheap if everything just went back to place like before Dragon died. You know what I mean? Like, if he was just replacing it exactly and Malcolm just kind of treated him like the regular Dragon, it would just feel like a cheat. Like Dragon's back, basically, you know? But because there's that awkwardness, it does kind of reinforce that this is a different character.
So I guess Captain Tootsie is not coming with us. Wah, wah.
But he's exploring Dimension X. And
He is.
He's going to bring some more people out of there.
Hopefully nothing dangerous. We've seen how this have gone before. No one learned from Rex Dexter's mistakes. Leaving the big window open so anyone can look inside.
Maybe we'll get some more characters from Paul's universe.
It'd be interesting. I mean, as much as I dislike Faco, I wouldn't mind seeing Paul Universe Mako or something.
With Captain Tootsie staying behind there, would you prefer to check in with him every once in a while going forward?
Oh, always.
Or would you be happier? Sure. Yeah,
like any Savage Dragon character, who I'd like to check in more often with. Yeah, and I like Captain Tootsie a lot. I like his purpose in the book. I like him being friends with Malcolm. So the fact that he's not coming with Malcolm is kind of disappointing to me because I wanted Tootsie on the new SOS,
right.
Frankly. But I can also understand how he kind of has his own thing going on and the choice to leave him behind. And it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense because Malcolm doesn't have a lot of Toronto like friends or contacts like we really got to know, and it makes sense that he has to leave at least one of them behind. And Tootsie's the only real choice.
I see Tootsie kind of like Vanguard, someone that can come in and out.
Okay.
And maybe have some backups or something like that.
That is not a bad comparison, honestly.
Yeah, that's pretty good. There's a threat coming, so watch out. Otherwise, he's got his own thing. But he does a lot of stuff in the those Big Bang books, right? I know, Craig, you picked those up.
Tootsie?
Yeah.
Well, he had a story and a issue, as far as I know.
Is that
he's had a few.
He has. All right, I'm a little behind.
I'm pretty sure.
That.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm thinking at least 2, because they turned out to be backups in Savage Dragon. Or maybe it was only the one. Maybe I'm mixing up with Mighty Man.
I know he was on the cover, and I know Mighty Man showed up a couple times too.
He's on the really cool cover with like him, Mighty Man, and who else was on it? I forget. There was like 3 characters. Maybe
it was Night Watchman?
Yeah, I think you're right. That cover is cool, done kind of like that CC Beck style. Maybe it was only one.
It could be.
Big Bang's got a really good CC Beck inspired artist doing those strips too. They look great.
Yeah. The guy who did the original ones passed away.
He did.
I forget the name of...
something Henry, I think, off the top of my head.
I think you're right. Yeah, he's pretty good as well. So I don't understand Neighbor Craig. I don't get the...
You don't get it?
I don't know. Like, so is this a new guy now?
Well, that's the thing. I actually think that's the joke. I actually think he's a second Neighbor Craig. Because my last recollection is Neighbor Craig blew up.
Yeah, like the joke was that he kept losing body parts.
And then eventually injected himself with dragon blood and he blew up. At least that's my recollection. And now there's another Neighbor Craig.
Right. She's like, Maxine's like, I didn't even know we had another Neighbor Craig. So, I don't know. I feel like there's some kind of inside joke I'm like not a part of on this. It's just weird. How do you guys feel?
I thought it was based on you. I thought that was the joke.
No, it's not based on me.
Yeah, no, I don't quite understand this. Especially when he says it's your old neighbor, Craig. That threw me when I first read it.
Yeah, like Jim said though, because old neighbor Craig had like bionic arms because he lost his arms.
The joke was he kept getting involved in various action things, and he kept getting injured and things.
Well,
replaced.
the kids kept injuring him because
right.
Yeah, I remember the old neighbor Craig.
Strength.
Yeah, this is new old neighbor Craig.
It's new old neighbor. Yeah, I don't know why.
He had to get.
And they don't look that different either.
No, I'm so confused about this.
That's why it threw me for a loop.
He's supposed to represent all of Canada, guys. He is the face.
Maybe we all just have our own neighbor Craig. But he certainly seems to have some kind of, or at least he thinks he's got a relationship with Maddie.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't get it.
But see, he would have his. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Oh dear.
What I'm saying is because Craig represents Canada, his relationship with Maddie is that Maddie was born here, and so he loves her most of all.
Okay.
See, it's all metaphorical. He's a literal metaphor.
So
I'll go with that.
Canada saying goodbye to them.
Yes, that is my take on the situation of old New
All right.
And they're saying, fuck you, Canada.
They're like, we don't even know. We barely got to know Canada.
Here is lightning to the nuts. We out.
Spent most of Canada during the pandemic, so we didn't even get to know neighbor Craig.
There you go.
All right.
And then we finally get an answer on what the hell's going on with Thunderhead.
Everyone's pal, Thunderhead.
Yep. He's not going to be the action hero we all wanted.
That's a pretty cool
Settling
cool
into
profile.
domestic life there, and
Somebody's got to
got
get.
his sweater vest.
Somebody's got to get out of this life alive.
He's such a hilarious character. I mean, he just wants to be like Sweater Vest Kevin. That's all he wants. He just wants to work, not be messed with. He's got this skull head. He used to be fucking, swole, and now he's just kind of skinny Mr. Rogers skull guy.
I guess they had their baby, because I think that's their
That's
kid
a while
in
ago.
that tiny panel there.
Yeah, that's it.
It's hard to keep track of it all.
I wonder if they have lightning powers. They clearly have a face.
Yeah, it'd be pretty funny if it was born with like half a face.
Oh, is that
Just an exposed jawbone.
Ooh. I was thinking like Two-Face, but yours is even worse.
well, it's the genetic trait is like transparent skin, right?
It would just be like kind of like Mace when his face got blown off. And it was like half his face is all burnt up. No? Okay.
Maybe when she gets older, we'll see what happens, I guess.
It just starts to fall off, flake off.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a bad day at school. Skin just sloshes off.
I guess apparently though, right, like with Skullface, the skin's just supposed to be invisible.
Right.
Yeah, it's transparent skin. He
That's
still
why
has
they
it.
can still talk without lips.
Although,
Yeah.
and I guess Kevin's blue because of electricity? Question mark.
And was born with lightning bolts on his head.
Yeah, they're just etched in there. How lucky to have lightning powers, to have lightning bolts seared into your skull at birth. Or you know what? I got a really crazy thought. What if, bear with me now, he's got transparent skin, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But if you get a tattoo on your transparent skin, does it appear to just float?
I would say so.
So maybe he just got tattoos on his head, and he just happened to be able to see them.
And they have like a little drop shadow on them.
That's a good point. There is no drop shadow. My theory defeated.
I don't know. I'm still with this theory.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
I've seen nothing that disputes it, so
Yeah.
that's my head canon. Thunderhead cannon.
Alrighty.
Yeah. So Paul's here and Alex. They're going to watch the kids while Malcolm and Maxine head down to the San Francisco. We get more of Tyrone's interest in machines, and Paul suggesting he meet his friend. I forgot his name already. What the heck's his name? Strange? Something?
Oh, Joseph Strange.
Joseph Strange, yeah.
And we see...
Yeah, I like what he says. My friend is almost as smart as you. And he's like, I don't believe you.
I like how Jack's the one most attached to Toronto. But I also think his attachment is very strongly linked to his new friend that he just met. I think he's frustrated that he's made this friend and now he's being ripped away so soon. Because
it could be.
It feels like because that just happened. That is what is going on with Jack, in my opinion.
I love that panel where Jack's like the foreshortening with his hands.
Oh yeah,
a giant fucking hand. That's awesome.
It is such a good panel.
Yeah, it's a lot of talking heads, but it's never a boring looking page in this book.
Yeah, I think Erik's just a master at playing at different camera angles and things like that. So it's not just two heads on the same plane. He just finds different shorthand tricks or, like I said, camera angles that just kind of keep things moving and interesting.
It's fun seeing Malcolm be a dad and do the dad thing. And
right.
deal with the uncomfortable conversation of I'm the parent and we make the decisions.
Right.
It's very different, I feel like, than his dad.
No, yeah. Dragon would never have this conversation. He would avoid it as long as possible and then try to be your friend and probably give you ice cream because he's terrible, terrible parent.
Well, Malcolm also has 4 kids, so I feel like there's more opportunities for him to be a father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Dragon never had to be a dad except for very briefly when he got to raise teenagers. He had to skip all this
and then spawn a whole new race of Krylons.
We get our first look at all these San Francisco landmarks.
I don't
What's that?
I said I don't recognize a single one. I don't know San Francisco at all.
I don't know anything about San Francisco.
I went
except for the cliches.
San Francisco once. It was like maybe 20 years ago at this point. But I know them all.
All the ones from this issue?
I know all the ones on the splash page.
Oh.
Those are easy, straightforward. But the other stuff, I don't know. I think it's just like generic spots. What do you guys think of Jeremiah Youngblood?
In general,
do you like him? You like his character?
I like how he's a reference to everything 90s getting old. I like that aspect of him.
I don't know much yet about him. I want to know more about him.
Gen X is getting old.
I like the concept that basically he's Youngblood, so that any references in Savage Dragon about Youngblood was really about him.
I can't believe he died fighting the Martians.
I tried to look like so I was kind of confused, but I guess it is they're not like a new team. They are part of SOS, right?
SOS's current team, and this is their San Francisco branch.
I wonder, like, if that's... I mean, it's obviously a real building where he's talking about the compound, but I wonder what it actually is in real life.
A bank,
probably just office space.
Yeah.
But it is interesting how Malcolm's coming down here without like financial compensation. That they have to shack up in the compound and not have a place already lined up.
Oh, like he doesn't get a bonus?
Yeah, why?
Just to come down?
Yeah, usually, my dad's never had to move to a major city like this, but my dad like works at a factory, and when he gets headhunted, they help with moving and relocating.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe he gets a bonus, but it's not going to be enough to like put a down payment on a $2 million home.
Yeah, but there's still housing. I mean,
Well,
even if
San
you have
Francisco houses is like, and they kind of talk about it in this issue. It's probably the most. Well, it was at one time the most expensive market.
But it's government; they've got to be able to subsidize something.
Well, that's what they're saying. You can live in their house in the compound housing, I guess.
Yeah, and then Maxine doesn't want to.
Now, who would? No privacy.
Mm.
Well, I'm sure there is. I don't know.
And it's a target for all the super baddies.
I'm sure there's a state-of-the-art security system.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Lasers.
just guys walking around out front. I don't know.
Yeah. They're just undercover guards.
Oh, maybe.
So you guys don't know these landmarks here?
Not really. I mean, I know the bridge, and I know the road, and I know that the houses
Lombard
from the opening of Full House.
Right.
Yeah, it's Haight-Ashbury, I would assume.
Yeah.
Chinatown. The Rice-A-Roni trolley.
Ding, ding, everyone. That's Alcatraz Island, obviously.
Yep. And
they're doing
know the name of that tower, but it's Colt Tower.
Colt?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only...
No real significance to it. I looked it up.
Where's the triangle tower that I always see in the skyline?
The pyramid, like the insurance agency?
Is that what that is? I have no idea.
One of those corporate, that's a skyscraper. It's like a office.
But
I barely know the geography of the town that I live in.
right.
The Trans-America Pyramid.
Okay. Yeah,
It's investments.
To be fair, I didn't know anything about Toronto either when they moved there, so to be completely honestly, front-loading all the landmarks like this in this story is probably a really good idea to really establish this place, so he doesn't have to keep doing it as much as the story moves forward.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe this is why this issue was so pushed back so much? Because he had to draw all these tiny little fucking cars and buildings and shit?
Yeah. I know it was because Gavin told me that it took a lot of time and he kind of regretted doing that.
So maybe like Jim's saying, just front load it now, so going forward he can just make it look like Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like, if you don't live there or whatever,
I mean, look at this.
Even know.
Look at this stinking Rose restaurant interior shot.
Yeah, that's probably a picture he took.
That
himself.
was definitely referenced, but even just to replicate it, to do line work over top of the photo, must have been a huge pain in the ass to draw all those liquor bottles.
And then have the majority of it covered up with word balloons.
Indeed.
I saw that and I got sad for Erik. I said, can't imagine how much time he wasted drawing all those bottles and all that stuff on the shelf.
Maybe he
nice
lettered it first, and then there's big empty spots behind all those.
Ooh.
Well, with the tab, right? You could just zoom in.
Yeah, maybe he got it. But I feel like lettering's always the last thing to get done.
It always is. Because you make changes all the way up to the end.
It is nice, though, to seeing all these places. It does feel like it's a completely different place from anywhere that they've ever been in this series so far.
That's true.
Because it's so heavily referenced, and it looks like they're all wide-eyed and looking at this place. So you kind of get it.
We saw some of this sort of thing in Toronto, though. He would reference restaurants and various other locations. It's something we never got in Chicago. See, it's funny. When we first started this podcast, I always commented that Chicago always kind of felt kind of generic. That we didn't really get a sense of the city. And it's not so much that we never got the sense of like locations, because he didn't really do a lot of location sort of dealies back then. It's more that the city didn't feel like a unique place, other than the fact that Dragon lived there. Yeah. Whereas we're getting more of that with Toronto and San Francisco. even though it's more implied because these locations are more fleshed out. And I do like it, but I really find the photo referencing really distracting sometimes. And I kind of long for the days of the generic Chicago skyline.
I can see that. I think too much photo referencing just kind of, I'm not a fan of. Here and there, okay. It felt like
that
the past
shot
couple
inside the restaurant does look really nice, though.
It
yeah,
does.
oh yeah. As I said, here and there, but I felt like he's got this new toy and he's kind of playing around with it a lot in the past couple issues, so you're getting a lot.
I mean,
and,
yes, that's true.
And it seems like he's already backing away from it for the most part, except for the shots of the city.
But he's been doing
Yeah.
this photo reference stuff ever since he got to Toronto, so that isn't new. It just might be his technique is new.
I don't mind backgrounds as much. What kind of pulls me out of it was when he was using faces from real people or even
Right.
cars and stuff, and it's oh, that's definitely not Erik's art.
Give me those shitty Larsen boxcars.
Please God, more. Like this airplane is probably from a reference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not 6 lines stacked on top of each other like those jets he draws.
And even the interior of the jet looks pretty good.
Yeah. No, it's fun, and I kind of understand. So the whole thrust of this issue is them making the decision based on can they afford to make the move, because living in San Francisco is ridiculous.
Yes.
And honestly, I'm surprised they actually decided to go based on how expensive everything was. They seem pretty eager, ultimately, just to leave Toronto for the United States, more than anything.
I think the biggest thing, remember, the past issues are North Force pretty much cleaned up Toronto. And
Yeah, there's nothing for them
yeah,
to do up
that's
there.
true. I forgot about
San
that part.
Unless he
Francisco.
wants to get a normal job.
yeah, and the whole point is that Jeremiah Youngblood's look, San Francisco's in bad shape. It needs to be cleaned up.
Where are we? Yes.
We're on the plane.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to jump ahead too much, but I wish we would have got to see a little bit of what was going back in Toronto with Paul and the grandkids while they were away.
That could have been fun.
Just to spice it up just a little, just to give it a little bit of a mix up of them going out in San Francisco and then just seeing what's going on back there. Maybe they get into little scrapes or some
Yeah, let's have
more hijinks with neighbor Craig.
You cut back to one panel of the entire city erupting into war,
Right.
and all the
As soon
kids
as he's
on
gone.
the front line fighting the vicious circle. No, it looks like it was a pretty calm babysitting event, which fair enough. Interesting proposition, Jack staying behind with Paul, though. I'm kind of curious if that isn't going to not going to happen in the next few issues, perhaps.
They did mention that Paul and Alex are thinking about moving down to San Francisco with them.
Oh, I thought they decided they weren't, or they haven't made a full decision yet at least until the wedding, or after the wedding, because they're going down there for the wedding.
It says Paul and Alex are thinking about moving down to the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Right.
So they haven't made a decision yet, but they're mulling it over.
I gotta imagine that Paul goes down there, because remember all the talk Erik had of having Paul be the mentor.
Yeah.
I still think that's in the plans for him. Maybe kind of, be the Professor X or somebody that's kind of helping the team. Maybe Professor X is not a good association, but some kind of I don't know, field commander or someone that's behind the scenes.
Because he was with SOS in his days, and he's got a lot of experience. Or just as maybe as a consultant with SOS.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Sergeant Marvel mostly just like trained the new kids and didn't go on a whole lot of missions. But
And I wonder if there's going to be any equivalent still left on this planet of like supervillains he fought in his reality.
right. I would like to see that.
I would too see some repercussions perhaps. I think it would be better to see something that we don't expect though. If something's coming from Paul's universe, maybe it's a good idea it not be Angel or Mako or the obvious. Maybe it should be something a lot more dangerous and threatening.
I'm hoping that since this issue was so slowed down, that like something big is coming.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Next issue is the wedding issue.
Right.
So anything can happen at a wedding.
The death
It
of
usually
Frank.
does. Oh, yeah. Hey,
I don't know.
maybe.
We just had a wedding where nothing deadly happened. So we've already got our one of those. So
I think in the solicitation it mentions something about like a looming threat or something.
looming menace, hellbent. Yeah. ...
I've been saying this for a while, but I definitely want like a major big bad that kind of hangs around
For like several story arcs.
Years?
Yeah. Yeah,
Years. It would be nice to have like a actual antagonist. I mean, we've had a few, Dart and Scourge, but other than Dart, honestly, Malcolm hasn't had a good one, really.
Yeah, I do think there is some missed opportunities to kind of keep guys around and not jump to kill everybody off and just have them show up every 30 or 40 issues or something, like that kind of Doctor Doom or Annihilus or Ultron type character.
Yeah.
I thought Samurai was going to be that character,
Yeah.
but then she died pretty quickly too.
Samurai was cool, but I always saw her as like a transitional villain, like your firepower or what have you. She was never going to fill Dart's boots. Not really, not in the long term. I mean, she was cool, and I think she would have made a much better lieutenant than a leader, which is what she did when Dart was alive. But again, she was a character that she had that good action scene last issue, and that was really it for her.
Yeah.
So you got to think now, right, with the book becoming like a team book, that they're going to need to fight someone powerful. Like, it can't be just like a street level guy here and there, because if it's a team book, you got to keep the team occupied in a fight, right?
Yeah. So we need like a Dark Lord or an Overlord or
right. So I got to imagine that's
even
coming, right?
a Mr. Glum or a Dart or who else?
Or someone that commands an army or something,
I'm sick of armies at this point.
Yeah,
the
I was gonna say
the
it.
Demonoids have burned me out on armies.
Yeah, I hear that, but I'm just saying, like, that's the only. It's either got to be someone super, super strong and powerful, or someone commanding an army, because a team needs to fight like either a bunch of people or a really strong person.
We've had the Vicious Circle, which is the gang, and we've had the Demonoids, which is like the monster army, and we've had the individuals like
we had Uglies Unlimited.
Well, but those guys are like fodder. They're not really a threat. They're
Well, that's kind of like the Demonoids, right?
Right, exactly. I don't know.
So,
I'm really curious what he's got planned. I'm sure he's really curious what he's got planned too.
Right. The upcoming covers are giving us no clues.
No clues as to anything except weddings and
Maybe
teams
some green hands.
So wait, this is 66. The cover for 67 is the wedding. What's on 68?
Yeah.
That's
Malcolm versus
Maxine.
What appears to be Maxine.
Right. Maxine punches him through the wall. So Maybe
Malcolm into the wall.
Maybe we're gonna have a body snatching storyline, or something along those lines, or a shapeshifter, or anything.
Or possessor
again? Or maybe Maxine will go evil, and she will be the villain of the next arc.
No, that would be unexpected.
It sure would. Clearly she is the looming menace, hellbent.
I don't think I like that idea, but I certainly wouldn't see it coming.
She will murder everyone at this wedding. At any rate, it'll be very interesting.
She's been a Skrull all along.
Yes. She, some kind of double agent.
But this issue does spend a lot of time with Jackson's unease about his move.
Which is why I think it's more related to his friend he met.
Yeah.
I think I think it's young love, and I think he's really frustrated he's being yanked away from it.
I think, yeah, and it's good characterization of a child. That's how a child would react to a giant move like that.
Yeah.
Tyrone's
and
way into it.
I see when they do all move down there at the end of the book, Walter doesn't come with him. How do you think he's going to get down there?
I'm sure he's in a suitcase somewhere.
You think he's just in the bag? Just folded up.
He hitched a ride in the wheel well.
Yeah.
He's freezing to death right now. He'll be okay. No, it'll be interesting. I bet he'll just show up, but we'll see. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
But we also get this last page with a big shot of the transient village. I know, yes. And I understand that San Francisco has that as a major problem for homelessness.
And it just kind of cracked me up though.
Why? Because it's like such a photo reference.
No. It's like her big eyes, like, oh. I thought, you're going to turn the page and it's going to be like some villain or some like returning. The villain is homelessness.
It's a villain, Craig.
The villain is homelessness.
The villain is capitalism. See, that would be a great twist for the book. We get rid of all the punching and action, and Malcolm becomes a activist fighting against capitalists and government officials.
Could you imagine the comics gates, guys?
That's the threat that's been looming the whole time.
And, he beats up the cops who try to tear down the transient towns. Be great. What a direction that would be.
Next, the 100-page 30th anniversary issue. Do you think it's going to come out next month?
I sure hope so. I doubt it.
A good FINteresting conversation would have been, what kind of backups would you like to see?
Yeah.
But I think we had a good FINteresting conversation.
Well, he was coloring Megaton stuff.
I know, like,
those pages.
Some of that was like, if I don't get enough or they don't get turned in on time, at least I have this, or shifting things around.
I mean, I really hope I don't see a whole bunch of Megaton stories in the back of 267. Just because I've already read it so many times, and I'm hungry for new stuff. I want that Greta Gearbox.
Well, there'll definitely be a Dragon's Kids feature by Simon Millette.
Is that Simon?
And Erik actually even mentions it in the letters page.
Well, whatever it is, I will definitely be enjoying it.
Yeah.
So
I hope it's a bunch of new stuff. Did you read the? Oh, you didn't read the letters, did you, Craig? You just or did you just skim
I read some of them.
Yeah.
I tend to look for like the questions.
Yeah, the numbered questions.
Yeah.
You mean the ones that you asked in your letter?
Well, that was one of them.
Right.
I did check to see if my letter was printed. Did you read them?
Of course. No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance to. I just didn't know if you saw anything in there that was worth talking about.
The only thing, the big thing was that Erik actually mentioned that Simon's strip is going to be in the 100-page issue. I think that was... he answered my question because I was asking in the Hortus funeral scene why Super Tough wasn't shown. Like, it's kind of like, it feels like Jeremiah Youngblood kind of took his place, but he said no slight was intended. The idea was to imply that there were other characters surrounding the casket, but they were cut off by panel borders. But
all right. There are some backup stories as well. There's the string. It doesn't say... did I miss the credit for the string?
Yeah, it wasn't in there, but I saw someone on the Cartoonist Kayfabe Facebook page mention who it was, and okay. I should have noted it, but I didn't. Pretty interesting strip.
Yeah, I like the art style.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
I like how you never know what you're going to get in the back of Savage Dragon.
Right.
I mean, I definitely prefer the strips that are tied in with a comic, but once in a while, it's kind of fun to get something like this. Totally unrelated, just kind of a fun, quick little comic.
Do you know anything about the artists who do the funnies back here? Like Kevin Days a Week by Kevin Burkhalter, and the Berkeley Muse by Ben Zayringer, and Moonbeard by James Squires. Like outside of this, have you ever looked into them at all?
No. I mean, I do know that Adam Pruitt, former FINcast host,
he's the curator for these, right?
Yeah, he puts them all together. But I've, to be honest, never went out and searched other stuff from these guys. I like them. I find them hit or miss sometimes, but I do enjoy them showing up. I just think it's another added bonus.
Right. And then on the back page, we've got Post-it note drawings by friend of the show, friend of me, friend to all of you.
Everyone's friend.
He's a friendly guy, Juan Ruvalcaba,
who has one of the more impressive Savage Dragon art collections.
Yeah, he's got... I think it's him and Gavin, and probably Erik has the biggest art collections of Savage Dragon stuff.
Yeah.
And Erik Larsen stuff.
And he probably has the biggest collection of different artist takes on Savage Dragon. I would say.
He's got a whole
all the
sketchbook.
convention, yeah.
Maybe 2 sketchbooks at this point. I don't know, but he's got a lot.
But now he's going beyond sketchbooks and getting full-on commissions from artists. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's shown a lot of stuff that he's gotten lately. That's been pretty dang impressive.
So it's nice to see his art featured on the back here. Long time fan of the book.
I enjoy it as all these villains. They are pretty fun to look at all on one page.
Yeah.
Really?
I wonder, because I know Juan wasn't expecting this to be on here. I wonder if he sent these in to Erik as one picture, or... Because I know he was posting these online for a while, or if Erik just grabbed them all and compiled them.
Yeah, I mean, and were they white and pink, or was that added later? Because it's got the checker box. It's kind of cool.
I don't know.
Who's the character below Brainy Ape?
Brainy Ape, where are you, Brainy Ape?
Brainy Ape.
Should be.
I think his name was Torment. No, there was a different Torment. Let me take a look.
Wait, hold on. Oh, there's Brainy Ape. Oh, the guy with the freaking hair fringes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't recognize him either.
Let's see. Let me find the wiki.
think everybody else I know.
Let's see. That's Torment 2.
Good old Rude Head.
Yeah, who on that list is still alive?
Oh, no one. I don't know.
Yeah, that is Torment. That is the original Torment. He was in Savage Dragon #1 of the ongoing series.
Okay.
He got into the bar fight with Dragon and Johnny Nitro.
Oh, yes. With the fire, with the lighter fluid. Was that the one?
He has appeared in more issues than I thought he did.
Yeah.
1, 24, 25, 26, 93, and 152.
And the weirdo Colossus guy from like Freak Force and Gang War. Anyway, it's pretty dang cool pinup. I like looking at all the different designs.
Yeah, I like it.
Very
Good
cool.
job.
Very cool.
Alrighty.
So that's it for Savage Dragon 266. Quite the experimental issue, I would say. Granted, it's not really experimental now that we talked about it, because you did say that 27 was another non-action issue, cool-down issue. So we have seen this sort of thing before, although
it was 20-something years ago.
Sure.
Right.
What did you guys think overall?
I think I can't wait for 267.
I am excited about the move to San Francisco and the possibilities that it represents.
Yeah. I like 266 all right. It was a little on the not as exciting. It's not going to be up there on my favorite issues. I think it was a necessary issue for setup.
Yeah. I think that a lot of time was spent with them mulling it over just to illustrate or to demonstrate what a big decision that it is that they're having to make.
Yeah.
Because if it was just like 2 pages, I'm like, maybe we should move. Okay, let's go. It doesn't seem like as that big of a deal. So maybe that was the whole point of doing a whole issue of it.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I'm with you. I can't wait for 267. The 100-page issues are always really fun to read and even more fun to talk about on the FINcast. Hopefully we can get some of the backup artists on for some shows. That's always a blast. So I am looking forward to talking to the people that work on that issue besides Erik.
Hopefully it's not too late. Hopefully all those backup guys got their act together.
Yeah. If so, we're calling up Gary Carlson and talking about the Megaton colored backup or what.
Right.
All right.
So next issue, Savage Dragon 267. Savage Dragon's adopted daughter Angel gets married to Frank Darling Jr. at long last. Paul Dragon gives away the bride. Malcolm Dragon is the best man. Maxine is the maid of honor. But no superhero wedding is complete without a looming menace hellbent on making the happy occasion a living nightmare. Exciting stuff.
There's a lot of... It's so vague.
Well, I'll be honest, this is actually one of the more detailed ones in recent memory.
You're probably not wrong.
I still think he should have bagged this with a phony wedding invitation. I think that would have been very cool. But it would have also would have cost like $20, I'm sure.
You might have to make your own, Jim.
There you go.
Put it up as a PDF online for people to print out.
I don't like knickknacks, but I do like bullshit.
I guess I don't know where you draw the distinction between the two.
It's not a variant cover, honestly. And that's all I need. But
great.
But I guess the world's not ready.
I just I don't know. I think
I'm legitimate.
Tagline for you.
I'm just legitimately surprised more people weren't into the concept. I understand why Erik wouldn't be, because it is very gimmicky. But I thought people were more into gimmicks than that. And
Well, what do you do with it?
you keep it bundled with the comic, and you look at it and go, "Wow, I can't believe I was invited to this wedding that didn't exist."
So you're getting invitation to the issue that you just bought?
You take it out and you look at it sealed in your comic.
You've never seen anything like this where you get like a phony like something like it's an in-universe like artifact.
Yeah, didn't that happen with his Nova series with like
something about the burger joint?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's been done. Never mind then.
I don't know.
But I think
you should send the invitations out ahead of time. I think that's the real problem, Jim.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's got to be you need a fridge magnet, like an announcement.
So you can save the date.
Yeah,
save the date magnet.
Yeah.
You can't. It's too late to RSVP once the issue's out.
I mean, he kind of did it with the dragging your ass.
Right, the bumper stickers.
Bumper sticker. I mean, it didn't come with a book though. That was more of a.
How did they get distributed? Was it a con thing?
Yeah, it was like a promotional thing.
Convention. That's where I got mine. Did you have those, Craig?
Someone gave me one. I wasn't able to get one at the time.
Actually, the invitation probably would have made a good promotional thing for stores.
Well, all right, you know what? Then that's an idea that I can get behind.
Because one side would be like the wedding invitation, the other side would be like an ad for Savage Dragon.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Something for everyone to throw away.
Yeah, bookmarks for everyone.
I picked up a couple of the bumper stickers. I remember because I said I'm going to use a couple because I put one on my car.
Did you?
I did. And then I sold the car. So somewhere out there, unless
someone's like, "What the hell does this mean?"
What? I don't even understand what this is. These are not real people.
I'm pretty sure everybody that saw that sticker had that same reaction.
Right. Because I know I wanted to use it as an actual bumper sticker, and I completed that task. And then I just had a couple more just in a pile. I ended up trading one to somebody for the Savage Dragon Bone postcard.
Oh, I got the bone. I don't know how I got the Bone postcard, but I do have it. I think I probably just got it on eBay like 20 years ago.
Yeah. All right, so that's that. Yeah, invitations.
Alrighty. Well.
Yep, that's it for this episode of the Savage FINcast. Of course, you can always find us at savagefincast.com. Send us your any email correspondence to savagefincast@gmail.com, along with any of your FINteresting Conversation answers. We are always looking to get those because we need something to read out on air. You can, of course, always find us on iTunes, Google Play Podcasts, and I guess now it's Spotify Podcasts because they bought Anchor.
Wherever fine podcasts exist.
Yeah, those three places mostly.
And you guys still do the YouTube?
Yes, we are on the YouTubes. I guess just
the YouTubes.
It's a shame that you don't use the video because we've been recording video this entire time, and Craig's been cracking me up with all his visuals.
Yep.
That every listener is going to miss out on.
And the fact that I, only do this in a t-shirt and no pants.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he doesn't wear it on his torso. This is the funny thing. That's one of the jokes. He wears the t-shirt on his
I just like
leg.
to be comfortable when I do this,
And you look comfortable.
Thank you. I'm relaxed.
Yeah. And then Jim does this with an erection the entire time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's excited about the new direction.
Yeah.
I'm definitely at attention.
And it looks great. You both look comfortable. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, always a pleasure.
Alrighty.
So thanks for listening, everyone. Yep, see you next time. Well, not see you next time. More like imagine you're there. As like a metaphorical concept of an audience.
Oh, dear Lord.